gentlemen, welcome to Kent here in the United Kingdom for what will be your Sunday primetime starting right about now. This is your Formula Renault 2.0 top split here, and well, this is certainly going to be one that you're going to enjoy, of course. It's going to be a fantastic race here, a full, fast, high-octane action that's going to go on. It's going to be a 20-lap race. It's going to be one to look out for, and right now, it's going to come up next. Welcome back then to your top split for your Formula Renault 2.0 championship. Right now we're here at sunny Brands Hatch for what will be a 20-lap race, 8 minutes of qualifying, 2 laps here. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Raceblock TV here, streaming live on iRacing Live. Here, this is Jake Sperry, all alone for this one, but we don't really mind one bit. We can have a little bit of fun here as well. We're going to look at your track conditions right about now. You can see it's very clear weather, 72 degrees Fahrenheit, track temperature of 108 Fahrenheit. Very, very interesting. Wind speed 13 miles an hour, so it's a very difficult one coming in from the southeast there. You're going to see cars wiggle and get themselves out of shape a little bit more often than you think. And well, this is certainly going to be a very tight circuit, very twisty, very narrow, and very difficult to get your overtaking opportunities underneath. Qualifying has literally just got started here, and it's going to be very interesting to see where everyone finds himself when all is said and done. First car on a flying lap right now is Juni Silvasti here in the number 23 machine right now. He's finding himself now through Westfield Bend, up Dingledale, heading now towards the next right-hander on circuit. This one is, I believe, Sheen's curve right now, and now heading towards Stirling's here. A very understated, difficult left-handed bend. Before heading up towards the final corners now, it's going to be Clearways, this big right-hander, which morphs straight into Clark curve. Down the Brabham straight away will come Juni Silvasti. Will he set a time to set off this qualifying session here at the moment? Answer that one is going to be an affirmative. Yes, 120.7 then to start things off. And well, the times are going to come in left, right, and certainly centre as well. Just a few names to look in there. Phil Reed in the number 19. Let's see what he can do as he crosses the line for Aperture Motorsport. He is on a flying lap. Can he go any quicker than the cars ahead of him? 121.3. No, he does not. He drops himself only to P number 5. Many quick cars here. Jürgen Frank, he's going to make his drive to the line as well in the number 3 machine. Let's see if he can do anything right now. Let's see where his benchmark is. A 122.5. Not good at all by his standards. Now, you've got to remember here, there are 26 cars here in this session. They're all going to be looking to try and get the best opportunity they can. 2 laps, and well, if you mess it up on one of them, you can't do it any better any other way. And of course, this is your motor racing weekend. We've had the Monaco Grand Prix. We are in the middle of the Indianapolis 500. And now, your Formula Renault 2.0 championship going on. And of course, after this, later on tonight, you can catch the Formula Renault 2K Cup back here. It will be myself and Cam Walsh who are going to be here doing that one. But right now, you can see the lap times are going to be important. Cars still on the bubble for not saying lap times. And one of them is the number 1 machine, Simon Povey there. He's going to have to try and put in the perfect lap time here in order to make sure that he pulls himself forward and pulls himself into the right position. Through the right, he comes along. And that is Sheen's curve into Stirling's Bend right now. And the run towards Clearways is not looking brilliant right now. You can see the times. It's Ricardo Castro-Ledo on pole at the moment. 120 point flat. He's blitzed the field. He's 4/10 clear right now. Simon Povey needs to find something. He's dropping down further, 19th. And surely he's going to drop outside the top 20 at this rate. Drive for the line. Simon Povey, a 120.5. Put yourself on row 2. And there was never any doubt in that one at all. Still, drivers coming along. Vincent Rohig there. He's gone and ran himself wide there. Mark Usher looking to try and set a lap time. He hasn't done one so far, and that is a real shock here for the number 6 machine right now, heading himself through the final corner. And well, it's certainly one where you're going to see a fantastic track, loads of undulation, but you can see just on this front straightaway, where do you go? Do you go high? Do you go low? What's the best line down the front straightaway? Answer 120.2, Mark Usher. Wow, second place, but still, you have to say Riccardo Castrolado is flying. McIntyre has one more lap after this one. We'll see what he does when he crosses the line. Scott McIntyre right now, he comes across and does himself a 1:21 flat, goes 11th. So let's see, let's stay on board even as he heads through Paddock Hill Bend, down the drop, now into Hailwood's Rise here, as he heads himself now in towards Druids, the right-hander there on the brakes, part of the slowest parts of the circuit, down to about 55 miles an hour before heading onto that accelerator, and now you head yourself into the left right now. This is Graham Hill Bend, and now you're going to run down this bank straightaway, and you head for Surtees right now. We're not going to run the Indy layout, we're not going to flick it right now and head towards Clearways, no, we're going to keep it on the straight and narrow right now. Scott McIntyre heading himself down into towards the next corner, which will be Hawthorne's, just listening to the engine. See him going through Hawthorne's. Next up is Westfield Bend, which is so difficult to get right. Opens up, but it closes very quickly. Track narrows up here, up Dingledale, and now heading towards Sheen Curve right now. You can see just how important it is to get over there, but it's a blind corner. Very difficult here. And well, it is just going to be Scott McIntyre, I think, who's going to be there setting a lap time. Also, other drivers to set lap times is going to be Ollie Quokka further down, but we're going to stay with McIntyre for the time being. McIntyre heading himself now in towards the final corner. Let's see what he can do. Number 14 currently, P number 12 on circuit at the moment. Drive for the line. Does he get anything better? 121 flat. Stays 121 flat. Won't go any better. Look at Ollie Quokka then. Here in the number 7 machine, heads himself through Stirling's Bend right now, and he needs to find himself an opportunity. He's down in 22nd position, and nobody wants to be down in 22nd. Dealing with all the traffic in 20 laps, it's going to be so difficult to overtake. You need to be as high as you can possible. Ollie Quokka needs to jump some people. Let's see what Ollie Quokka can actually do. Ollie Quokka, 122 flat. He goes quicker, but he doesn't jump anybody. I think that's everyone on track. We'll run you through now your qualifying results here at Brands Hatch. Riccardo Castrolado showing his class 2/10 quicker than anybody else. 120-point flat here in his number 5 machine. Mark Usher alongside row 2, Jukka Savalainen and Simon Povey as well. Look out for row 3, Emmanuel Petri and Juni Silvasti there with Maya Reddy and Johan Leffeneisser, a name that we normally see associated with your European MX-5s. He's there in 8th. We're going to cycle it on back, and there are some interesting names that are further down the field. You look at the likes of David Jimin and Bo. You look at Phil Reeds down the field, McIntyre down the field, Matt Malone, Ollie Quokka, Jurgen Frank, and well, cars that didn't set a lap time in the end, Vincent Roy, Alex Ellis, and also Alvaro P. Sanchez as well. Cars getting ready to grid up. 2 minutes, of course, to do that, and it's all going to be about who can make sure that they get their best opportunity sorted. And well, just going to wait for that drop there because, well, it's very lovely. And well, you're going to see they've got 2 minutes to grid up. It's all going to be about setup. It's all going to be about who can get their car the fastest. The run to Paddock Hill Bend will certainly be very difficult. Of course, it's always going to close in on you, and we can see there have been many spectacular crashes with Formula Renaults, with Star Mazdas, with any sort of car when you race around here, so that might be one to look out for in the future. But for the time being, these cars just getting ready, getting nervous, a little bit antsy, these drivers right now, because they know that they need to get the best opportunity that they possibly can to score a very memorable win. Championship leader and second place are not here in this race. I believe that most of them did run the split on Friday, and you can always check that one out. If you look back on iRacing, look back on Racebot TV, both YouTube channels there, you'll be able to find all that and all the other broadcasts that we show live here, also on iRacing Live as well. Just looking here, just got that 1 minute under to go. Just a few cars we're waiting on here, and the majority of the midfield here is gridded up, and we're just waiting for a couple of cars. One very noticeable name, Jukka Savalainen, yet to grid up just now. And remember, if you do not grid up within that 2 minute period, you're starting from a place called pit lane, and nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to start from a place called pit lane. Castrolator then will be on the inside of your circuit here, as will every odd-numbered car, which is a disadvantage when the racing line is on the outside. Just waiting for a couple more drivers to grid up here. Just waiting on one more there, and that is Scott McIntyre. There we go. He puts himself on. Now we're going to hear the engines revving. Now you're going to hear the wait, the very long wait going on here for what will be a fantastic race. The engine's now starting to rev. Lights on the iRacing gantry. Lights off. We're here, we're underway, and it's a fantastic start from Riccardo Castrolato. He beats everyone off the line. Mark Usher can't do anything, and they're going to file it into Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Not a clean start at the back, because we got 4 or 5 cars turning around. Ollie Quokka rolling around. And well, you can see Alex Ellis involved there. And also, you look at Alvaro Sanchez, Vincent Roy. Didn't work out for any of them, and now you look back through the field, not ideal at all. Contact behind there. That's Phil Reed getting a tap through the grass at Graham Hill Bend. They're going to scatter behind, but for the time being, car off as well. That's Emanuele Petri who's gone in from the start, but already you can see how important it is to get away at the start. Riccardo Castrolato has got away, and he's got away great. Wow, you just can't seem to catch your breath at the moment. A couple of incidents already taking place, and well, we said about it. Battle for third going on. Simon Povey, Duke of Savalainen head themselves now into the next series of right-handers. You're not going to see a right-hand or a left-hander until you get to Stirling's Bend here, up in towards Sheen's Curve. They just went through Westfield, up Dingledale, and now heading towards this next corner of Stirling's right now. You can see Simon Povey, he's looking for an opportunity, looking for that way to get through, but he doesn't have to do it straight away. It's 20 laps. There is always a chance that you can do it later on. And where you can see on the brakes, it is a very hot circuit here today, which is meaning that you're going to see grip being a little bit less. The time's a little bit slower than you normally see. And right now, you can see move to the inside. They're going to go side by side for Paddock Hill Bend. Simon Povey to the inside, and there's going to be no arguments about it. Down a hill and up Harewood's Rise once again. Fantastic move there as we're going to look back towards Sender van der Wiel there and Frederick St. Dennis there, who are going to be scrapping it into Druids, even if I can get my words out right now. They're going to go too wide, but I think for the time being, Frederick St. Denis is going to stay ahead of Sander van der Velde. There, he has made his way through in that respect also, and it's going to be one to look out for further down your field. And well, lovely two-eye battling further behind, Cesar Armengod, and he is going to be having a scrap with Matt Malone there in the number 8 machine. They're going to run themselves side by side still as they head themselves now down towards Hawthorne Bend, down Hawthorne's drop right now as they head themselves into the right hand as they come along. Well, it's going to be a wait for Matt Malone. He's not going to do anything about it for the time being, and it's going to be one which you have to wait on later on. And behind them, you can see Canet Basol and Jürgen Frank together, also looking for a piece of the action. Fantastic scraps, but David Gimno Bow to the inside, and well, they're going to squeeze a little bit wide there, and the car of Johan Lepenicer will lose out, and Gimno Bow trying to take 2 for the price of 1. Emanuele Petri there having a go, but he runs wide, loses the opportunity, falls down the field. Not ideal at all, but he's got to wait a little bit longer. You can see they're scrapping, and there's contact behind, and that's Matt Malone, sorry, and that is also Cesar Armengod. Let's get a replay of that one and see exactly what happened in that respect. So coming down in towards clearways, you can see already here what happened. You can see Emanuele Petri on the inside. He comes down into the corner. No, he leaves the room, but Matt Malone trying to take too much out of the corner. Incident happened. It didn't quite happen. Let's go back live then and see exactly what is going on in your field right now. And the gap at the front has really opened up. It has gone to 1.7 seconds in 2 laps. Riccardo Castrolato is effectively gone. Battle for second. Mark Usher, Simon Povey, number 6 versus number 1. Tries to go to the inside. Says no, that's not going to happen. There was no room at all, and a little bit less as well to try and get that one there for Simon Povey. He's going to have to try and do it somewhere else. Mark Usher being very firm with his defence, and a little wiggle coming out of Westfield Bend and up Dingledale. Very difficult to understand here just how difficult it is. The car is always undulating, the suspension working so hard for an opportunity to arise here to get any sort of grip. Here, you're never at 100% optimal around a circuit like Brands Hatch into the final corner, and now the gap starting to open up. Let's look further down your field. It's starting to open up these gaps here, and well, you've got a lovely 3-car scrap going on. Henrik Lindhoff, Antonio Rojas Cachiro there, if I can say that correctly, and Fabrice Cornelis there, who is going to be in the scrap for around 15th position-ish. We're going to say right now, gap at the front 2.4 seconds, down the Paddock Hill straight right now. Let's just check in on the engine sounds and see just how everything's going. on the brakes down in towards turn number 2. That is Druid's corner, and there you can see there that the car of Fabrice Cornelis there in 15th position there was going a little bit defensive into that line, but it didn't seem that there was any problems at all there to be had. Here, of course, 20-lap race, no pit stops required around here. Very interesting indeed. And well, we're going to focus on the battle for P2. Number 1, Simon Povey is going to have a lovely scrap here with Mark Usher. Didn't have the opportunity. Well, he has another look. Not going to happen right now. And he's still looking for that opportunity. Usher having to play the hard defensive game. And well, for Castro Lado, this is a huge advantage here. And you can see already just how the dirty air starts to affect you as you head through these series of rights and lefts here, because you look at Simon Povey. Right now, he's starting to drop off the back. He's starting to lose all that connection, all that momentum that he needs to have. And this is actually pulling in Duca Savalainen and Juni Silvasti as well here in the battle for 4th and 5th. It's going to be one you need to look out for here as we head to lap number 5. Already 1/4 distance is covered here so far in this race. And well, 3.5 seconds, says Ricardo Castrolado, is pushing like a madman possessed, you could say. As you can see, Simon Povey again incredibly close to the back of the number 6 of Mark Usher into Graham Hill Bend. They come along, and you can see they can run wide there at that section. They can run wide onto that AstroTurf. It's not too much of a problem. Just get a little bit less grip there, but it is technically the quicker line to run wide. And you can see a fantastic run from Simon Povey, who will have to go to the outside here in order to get it there. Down the hill he'll come along, and will there be any sort of scraps, any sort of battles going on? They're going to remain side by side. Oh well, it's all in the favour of Mark Usher for the next 3 corners on circuit here into Westfield Bend. They come along still side by side, and the room being given, and I think Mark Usher's going to have to yield here at Dingledale, because Simon Povey did the hard work and he received all the credit for that one. Tune into this one. Let's just see what the look's going to be behind from Duca Savalainen here. He'll be looking for the opportunity, and actually you can see Mark Usher now here. He's going to have another look here. Goes to the inside, down at the final corner. Are they going to get close? Yes, they are, but they're not going to touch. Very respectful between the two, but nothing going on. Now we have a trade of 4. Now we have an opportunity arising here for the battle for your podium position right now. Gap 5 seconds now in the space of 5 laps. So that's all you need to know about these guys battling. And well, you cannot take your eyes off of this one for 1 second at the moment here. But we are going to go back very, very briefly to the battle with Frederick St. Denis and Sander van der Velde right now as they head themselves in towards Druids right now and heading in towards Graham Hill Bend. These two fighting here for the top 10, 9th and 10th respectively on circuit. You can see just how difficult it is to fight here because, well, once you get yourself out of line, it's not going to happen. But we're going to look back here at this battle going on for second right now because Duca Savalainen's just lost himself off the back. Let's get a replay up then and see exactly where he has lost that one. And the answer is Graham Hill Bend. Into Graham Hill Bend he comes along, misses the apex, runs a little bit wide, 4 wheels off into the grass, avoids the barriers there, keeps his race alive, but he drops all momentum of time. He drops himself outside of the podium fight right now. And now Simon Povey just has that little bit of a gap, which says second place is going to be okay for the moment. Well, it's certainly going to be one to look out for. Let's look back then at Frederick St. Denis and Sander van der Velde right now. It just seems that they are in cryogenic station at the moment because they are just not making any moves at the moment. They're just keeping formation. Doesn't have to be quick, doesn't have to be precise. You just got to stay calm and ready to make the move when it needs to happen. And well, there certainly are going to be battles down the field, and well, one of them is going to be Antonio Rojas Cachairo and Henrik Lindhoff right now as they head for Paddock Hill Bend. The 21 and the 24 going together here into the right-hander, and well, down the hill, up the hill, so difficult on that suspension, in towards Druids. They come along once again, and well, Henrik Lindhoff's going to play the defensive game. He's going to stay there. He doesn't have to push too hard in this stage. He has the slipstream of Cornelis here, who is trying to pull away from this group and doing everything he needs to in that respect. And well, there's certainly cars that are going to be looking behind. It's actually Vincent Roig I've just seen here. He has just ran himself through Paddock Hill Bend's gravel, and he will drop himself down the field, and not ideal at all. Couple of drivers out of your race already. That is Alex Ellis and Ollie Quokka, the number 7, early on in your motor race. Not ideal for either of those who are looking to get some solid points right now. And well, there are certainly going to be some great battles going on. And well, yeah, let's get a replay at the start then going up and see exactly what happened in that respect then. And well, the start was very, very, very difficult then for everyone who was going in, and well, certainly everyone was looking to try and get it there. I can't get and see it myself, but you can see it for yourselves exactly what happened with the incident down at lap 1. It just seemed that 2 into 1 never truly goes, and well, especially when you're 3 wide, it is certainly not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. Let's look then further up through your field then and get yourselves a lovely little battle going on. There's a lovely little train starting to develop right now. Cano Basol at the back of it, and well, you can see there Phil Reed, Matt Malone, Antonio Rojas Cachairo right now. He's there in that one. Henrik Lindhoff, Fabrice Cornelis there. It's just a massive little gaggle that's going to be trying to scrap here. And for Phil Reed, he doesn't normally see himself down in the back of the field, so he'll need to push himself up. And, well, there's certainly going to be one that you need to look out for right now. You can see the gap starting to form a little bit. Let's look at Rojas Cachairo right now, looking at the opportunity into Surtees. No, not going to happen just yet. He's going to have to wait for the opportunity here, and he's going to try and get a better run. Then Henrik Lindhoff ahead of him, and he does get the better run. He's now got to run the slipstream. Defensive line from Lindhoff. Here as they head themselves down. Harewood's rise, head towards Harewood's corner. And well, into the right-hander. It's going to be a yield for Lindhoff, but behind. Phil Reed trying to Phil Reed special here around Matt Malone. Here, and he's going to have to do it again. Round the outside here at the next corner of Westfield. And actually, Matt Malone's going to lose it. He's going to tag the barrier. He's not going to get anything important there. He just clipped the cone, and that is his race well and truly sorted. He is out and gone, and that is the end of that one for you. But let's just get you a run through then. On your screen, on your left-hand side, is where your biggest movers and shakers are inside your top 10. And where you can see already Simon Povey up 2, Scott McIntyre, he's up 4 right now, and up 5 is Frederick Saint-Denis right now, who is having a fantastic scrap with Sander van der Velde here into the right-hander of Druids. They come along, heading up towards halfway. Let's tune in on Sander van der Velde then, and let's see just how he's pushing here as he heads himself to Surtees. Well, there you can see, I've heard this corner being described, Surtees, as having a revolver in Russian roulette, and 5 of the 6 slots are bullets, because you have to say, it is so difficult to get that corner correct. It is basically, you get it perfect, or you're gone. And you can see just how close he was, and this 4-car train developing here in the battle for ninth so far in your circuit right now, in your motor race. And well, you can say this is certainly going to be one to look out for. If the racing's like this, we're going to say it's going to be very important to tune into the 2K Cup later on tonight, which will close out your Saturday, and then of course Monday night skippies the night after that. Very important to watch those both as well. We're going to look further up your field then and see if we can catch ourselves a little battle. Duke of Savalainen just can't seem to pull away from Maya Reddy right now in the number 4 machine. He has a small gap. It is about 7/10 of a second. It's not enough really to say that it's going to be anything. And actually, look at the battle for second right now. Mark Usher has not fallen away from Simon Povey. We thought Povey would break away, but no. Simon Povey here is going to have to try and do everything he can to pull away, but it's not quite working. We are halfway now through your motor race right now, and it's showing just how quick this pace is going. It's electric right now for Simon Povey here as he looks to try and hold the momentum as he heads down in towards what is Hawthorne, even not Harewood, Hawthorne corner into the right-hander. And well, it just seems it's a waiting game right now. You can see the tactical games of chess starting to pick up. Frederick Saint-Denis, Sander van der Velde, they've been at it all race long, and well, they're going to go down at it into Hawthorne's at the moment. And you can see right now, Sander van der Velde just waiting still, just hasn't seemed to get the run. Maybe he's running higher downforce, meaning that he'll be better in the corners, but no, he's not good enough down the straightaway as they head for Sheen Curve. Again, we can see just how important it is to stay in that slipstream, but right now just how close he can get. Gap is about 0.2, 1/10 of a second. It is almost going to be practically nothing this time by, and where you can see he's having a little bit of a look, a little bit of a think as he heads himself down in towards the next corners. And well, right now you can see Sander van der Velde is really trying to push himself through. It's not quite working right now, and actually we need to look at the number 23 machine of Juni Silvasti. He's on pit lane. He is out. Let's get yourself a replay of what's happened to him and whereabouts he has done that one. Oh, he's done it over down at that Sheen Curve. Just got 2 wheels out onto the grass, and well, he smacks the barrier and pulls himself back in. Not ideal at all. This is the replay. You can see, oh, it's just awful to see there. He didn't want that at all. We're going to go back live because look, Phil Reed's got onto the front of the train. He's through on Petri, but behind Cornelis, Lindhoff, That is also Rojas Cachairo, and Basol is there as well. And that is a massive train that's going to be heading themselves up now, down towards Hawthorne Bend. And you can see right now just how important it's going to be. The battle for 13th position. Phil Reed trying to break away, but it's not quite working right now. You can see Lindoff going to have a dive down in the inside. It doesn't happen on Cornelis, but it's one that you have to stay at, because look behind them as well, because here comes Canet Basol to the inside, and he made that one look very comfortable there on Rojas Cachairo. Of course, this Brands Hatch, a circuit steeped in history. You look at touring cars, Formula 1, you look at it, it's hosted everything that it could possibly host under the sun right now. And actually, there is a car we need to look at. Mark Usher, he's made a mistake somewhere on track. He's behind Mikel Lamoureux, and he's missing a front wing to boot as well. And look where he's done it. He's done it down at Sheen Curve once again. Get a replay up for you of it, because he's ran himself wide. 2 tyres on the grass, 4 tyres on the grass, and he tags the barrier in a very similar fashion to that of a certain Juni Silvasti. And he will go and look himself to try and salvage any points. It's not going to happen. There's the replay now up on your screen. That is exactly how Mark Usher lost it. And Mark Usher now behind Mikel Lamoureux, and he did not want that one by any stretch of the imagination. What it has meant is that Simon Povey is clear by 5 seconds now on Jukka Savalainen, but he is 7.2 seconds off of your race leader, who has led from the very beginning, and his name is Ricardo Castro Lado in the number 5. Let's tune in to him just for a time being, as we'll see his run towards Druids. Gets all sorts of tyres over that massive green curb there on the outside. They're just trying to run it on the AstroTurf as much as he can, trying to take every inch out of the circuit there, driving almost time trial. You can see he does it again, and well, you're going to have to look further back for battles. Battle for 3rd, Savalainen and Reddy. That one is just starting to heat up just a tad. We are 13 laps in to your 20-lap motor race, and you can see just how important everything is, and where you can just see how everyone is trying to push their battles. But we do have side-by-side, because it's Sander van der Velde and Mark Usher, the limping Mark Usher, here in towards Graham Hill Bend, and he's got to deal with David Gimeno-Bow behind him there. David Gimeno-Bow, even as he heads himself down into Surtees, the door left open, but he's going to have to do it now as they heading towards turn number 5 out on circuit, and that corner is going to be certainly Hawthorne's Bend right now. As you can see, side by side, very comfortable, no issues about that one. David Gimeno-Bow will push himself up through the field, and actually something's happened to Canet Basol as well. He'll drop down the field right now, and actually look at Phil Reed. Reed is flying away from Emanuele Petri. Last time by, he does a 1:21.4, a 1:22.8 from Emanuele Petri, and behind, you look at the lap times done, a 1:29 or 1:26. We completely missed an incident there. Let's go back and see if we can catch that one then, because that one is one that you don't often get to see, but that is one which has happened so far today. So just looking back, I'm just trying to see if I can catch this one for you very, very quickly, and it did really look like that this happened all down as they headed towards turn number 4. That is Surtees right now. They're going to go side by side as they head themselves now in towards what I believe is Hawthorne's Bend. And where you can see into the right-hander, nothing really doing for the time being. And oh, they get really close there through that one. But then the next corner is the one where the drama happens. There you can see the contact, 1, 2, 3, all in the barriers. And well, that didn't work at all. And cars struggling here. Lap 14 then of what is going to be this motor race here of 20 laps. Where you can see already just how important things are going to be. Castrolado starting to ease off a little bit, gap down to 6.8 seconds. And well, there was no replay, but I told you exactly what happens. So, a bit like a radio, I'll give you a verbal description of exactly what happened, and well, you can trust my word for it here. David Gimeno-Bow then, Sander van der Velde, Frederick Saint-Denis starting to get away just a little bit for the time being. And well, you can see Sander van der Velde trying everything he possibly can in order to break away from Gimeno-Bow. Gap's starting to open up just a little bit there in that respect, and well, we still have some battles going on, and that is certainly including Maya Reddy and Jukka Savalainen. Gap is 8/10. It's just going to be a waiting game right now as they head for the final corner. Your final 5 laps even. Head to turn 1, Paddock Hill Bend. It's your 5-lap warning. This is where it can all be won or all be lost. Gap now is 9/10 of a second between them. Maya Reddy is starting to fall away, and he cannot do anything about it right now. So Let's try and catch yourself a little bit of a battle right now. And actually, let's focus on Mark Usher here in your number 6 machine. He does a 1:24.7 last time by. Look at Phil Reed behind him doing a 1:21.4. You look at Phil Reed, he is really trying to force the matter right now. Usher's going to be taking this lap. Where you don't know, just look at Phil Reed. Look at it from his perspective right now. Let's go on board with him and just see how much that closing speed is going to happen as they head through Surtees. Already you can see he is right behind. Right now is Phil Reed. He's going to look for the opportunity on Mark Usher, and it's going to be a very simple one. He's going to have to do it down to the inside. It's going to be a very comfortable one, and he's going to say, yep, thank you very much. Back pocket for me, please. Moves himself up into P11 on circuit for the time being. Gaps are opening up, but there's a car running wide there, and that is Frederic Saint-Denis, who runs it wide down at the Sheen curve, and he's going to be sitting duck for David Gimeno Bo, if I can get my words out, possibly down the inside into clearways. He has a look. He has a big look. The gap was given, and now as they head through the Brabham straightaway, runs wide again, does Frederic Saint-Denis. Drops another one to Johan Lepenicer, and he has dropped down the field 3 places in the space of 3 corners. It shows you here, it really does show you just how important it is to make sure that you get everything right in that respect as well, and where you can see just how important it is to get yourself a perfect run, because once you're unsettled, that's it. You have to get back in the groove, and the groove was completely and utterly lost if your name was a certain Frederic Saint-Denis. Well, it has been processional up at the front for Ricardo Castro-Ledo right now. He is away by 7.4 seconds, and he has not put a foot wrong all race long. He has been sensational, and he has shown exactly what he can make of there. Fastest man in qualifying, did a 120 flat, 2/10 quicker than anybody else, and he's broken away from the guy in second. Let's focus on the camera now. Number 1, Simon Povey right now, who'll be looking to try and take this result into the 2K Cup later on tonight. It hasn't quite worked out in his favour here today, but you can see just how important it is as he starts his 17th lap on the motor race. Gap now 7.8 seconds. Third is Jukka Savalainen, starting to pull away from Maya Reddy, who is really just going to be looking to try and consolidate a very solid 4th place finish right now. Gaps really are starting to open up here in your field, and where you just got to keep looking for that battle to open up. Cesar Armengod and Henrik Lindhoff. This is the battle going on down further down your field. I believe this is for 14th position on circuit here. Lindhoff's lost the position this lap by, and well, he'll be looking to try and get it back as quickly as he can from Cesar Armengod. Armengod last time by did a 21 flat. Compare that to the car of Henrik Lindhoff's 22 flat. Look at the times as they come across the line this time by 22.6 compared to a 21.4. You can see Cesar Armengod is trying to push away with this one here, lower down your field. And where you can see as they head to Druids once again under that car loop sign, they can see just how easy he is just throwing the car in. Not really too much there. It's smooth, it's controlled, it's precise. It's not exactly what you call erratic driving, and it's exactly what he needed right now. So, interesting one to note right now is Johan Lepenicer here at the back of this small little group right now in the number 11 machine. Of course, we normally see him popping up in European MX-5s that you catch on a Thursday night. Join me and Will Vincent normally for that one, but you can see right now Johan Lepenicer as he heads himself into the left-hander then of Sterling's Bend. Right now you can see he's got David Gimeno Bo there ahead of him, who's got to deal with Sander van der Velde, and ahead of that you can see Scott McIntyre in a lapped car of Martin Stollinger. Stollinger shouldn't really be a factor, but it is a potential here as the lap times are coming down. 3 to go in your motor race right now. Stollinger gets out of the way, and let's look at Sander van der Velde right now. Heads himself down Paddock Hill Bend for the time being. Away you can see David Gimeno Bo. He's going to close right up there as he can't make the move sorted there on the back marker. Now the gap's starting to go, and Sander van der Velde is now going to have to worry a little bit right now, because into the left of Graham Hill Bend, he gets a little bit twitchy, doesn't carry as much speed as he normally does, and now it's all about that run here down in towards this left-hander of Surtees. Up the hill you come around, head up Hawthorne's Rise right now. You can see right now David Gimeno Bo is struggling through that one. He didn't get that one sorted, and actually the back marker, well actually no, that's Johan Lepenicer even, I stand myself corrected, trying to go to the outside, doesn't quite work. Lepenicer smelling an opportunity right now as I can't get my words out once again into the right-hander of Westfield Bend, and he's going to have to wait just a little bit longer for the time being right now. And you can see exactly what he is pushing here for. Johan Lepenice, he's really looking for the opportunity, looking for a chance to get through. It's not quite happening at the moment. Well, it certainly is going to be one of these races which you're not going to remember for being the most exciting one, but it's certainly going to be one of these races which has maintained the status quo. We're going to stay with Lepenice and Jimeno Bo for the time being as they head themselves now towards the next corner of Paddock Hill Bend. You can see you're always trying to lean in, and you're going to get spat out midway through the corner, down the hill, down the depression, up you go. Look to the inside then from Johan Lepenice, and he's not going to make the move sorted this time by. All of this is just meaning that Sander van der Velde is going to get away just a little bit. You can see actually just how important that exit is, because the gap opens up again to 3/4 tenths for Johan Lepenice, and it just means that he can't get that one sorted as he heads himself through the left-hander then of Surtees' corner right now. You can see the run. It's going to come down the time, 3 tenths, down to 2 tenths, and it should come down to 1 tenth in a moment. Yes, it does. Now it should come up to next to nothing. He has a little bit of a look, but no, he's not as close as he was last time by. He's got to look for a better opportunity in that respect for the moment. But we are heading towards your final lap of your motor race. In fact, we are on your final lap of your motor race. And for Ricardo Castro-Ledo, it's been a case of just stay out there and make sure that everything is perfect there. He hasn't seen the sponsor time that normally he'd want, but it doesn't really matter when you are racing and winning by 9 seconds almost over Simon Povey. We'll update you on exactly what is happening between Jimeno Bo and Lepenice right now. Just very, very quickly before that, we'll see anything that happens from Paddock Hill Bend and Druid section as well, because they are half a minute down on your race leader right now into Paddock Hill Bend. Jimeno Bo runs wider than everyone else, but that could be an opportunity here to get the move sorted. No, not into Druid. Let's cut back then to your race leader then. His name is a certain Mr. Ricardo Castro-Ledo right now. Into Westfield Bend he'll come along, and he can cruise this final lap if he wants to. He can run out of fuel if he wants to, but if he wants to, he can win this motor race. 2 corners to go then for Ricardo Castro-Ledo. Here's he rounds Surtees court, not Surtees even. I can't even remember the corner names anymore, but I don't really mind here because you got to look at this as Jimeno Bo has problems. We'll look at that one at the end of the race. Ricardo Castro-Ledo will win that one out here at Brands Hatch. He stamps his name and says, I am a really quick driver. Here, Simon Povey will come across the line in 2nd place, and Savalainen will edge out Maya Reddy for 3rd. But we are going to look back to David Jimeno Bo when all is said and done. David Jimeno Bo, the number 16 car, has crashed out in the final lap. Let's get a replay up on screen. Let's see exactly what happened with him. It was just as we cut away as they headed through Graham Hill Bend. It just seemed to be the problem here. You can see, runs through Graham Hill, just takes a little bit too much out of it. Tyre hits the grass, and it's so difficult. Very lucky there's Lepenice. He catches the outside barrier, and that is it for David Jimeno Bo. And he knows exactly what hurts him, because later on you can see as it's not, yes it is actually, it is Hawthorne's corner. He runs wide, understeer, lots and lots of understeer. He then hits his limit for instant points and gets himself disqualified from your motor race. But we can now run you through your official classified results here, which have come out here at Brands Hatch, and wait for the drop. Ricardo Castro-Ledo then wins in comfortable fashion by 9.3 seconds then over Simon Povey in the number 1 car. Duke Savalainen will take the final step on the podium ahead of Maya Reddy, showing a very good performance with Mikel Amaro. They're finishing 5th. Scott McIntyre 6th with Sander van der Velde finishing 7th with Johan Lepenice behind. Frederick Saint-Denis there. He'll be ruining his chances, finishing 8th with Phil Reed there in what is 10th position, even as I get it wrong. Frederick Saint-Denis finishing 9th. Look down onto your 2nd page. Cesar Armengol down in 13th with Antonio Rojas Cachairo there behind. And well, Mark Usher only finishing 16th. Fabrice Cornelius as well. Cars finishing a lap down. Jimeno Bo, Jürgen Frank, Vincent Roy, Martin Stollinger, Canna Basol 2 laps down, and cars that failed to finish, Sylvester Malone, Quokka and Ellis. That's all we have time for here this afternoon, but don't forget, the Monaco Grand Prix was fantastic. The Indy 500's going on right now, so if you are missing that one, please tune into it. You might even see Will Vincent in the crowd. And well, of course, later on tonight, you're going to see the Formula Renault 2K World Cup here on iRacing Live by RaceBot TV. It will be one to look out for back here at Brands Hatch. Join myself and Cam Walsh for that. But for the meantime, I have been Jake Sperry. That's been Hugo Luis behind the cameras, and we will see you in a few hours' time. Good night.